Hi, hello there. You're still watching our secret segment, City Stories, and we're still with Zahria.
Yes.
We're going to talk more and ask more, of course,
Yes.
about her recent activities since she went back from the UN ECOSOC conference forum. Yeah. So our next question: why do you think Indonesia struggles to reduce poverty as one of the SDGs aim that we should reach actually?
Yeah. So when we talk about reducing poverty, it mainly ties back into unemployment in Indonesia. So when we're seeing the data for regarding unemployment, the unemployment rate in Indonesia reaching up to 14% this year. Moreover, if we look at the data for the productive age, 16 up until 30 years old in Indonesia, we do have 65.82 million of people, or 24% of the total whole population that is aged from 16 up until 30. Now, if we look at the structure of the workforce in Indonesia itself, most of this structure of the workforce is dominated by informal workers in Indonesia, because according to the National Statistic Agency or BPS, in 2023 it is stated that Indonesia have 83.34 million of informal workers, and the crux of the matter is most of the youth also working in the informal sector, which offers lack of instability, lack of social protection, and limited growth opportunities. So from this data, what the data is trying to say is four implication. The first thing is the lost potentials, because poverty can hinder and can deny young people to fully unleash their potential to be able to innovate something and also contribute to the nation economy. That's the first thing. Second thing, regarding economic stagnation, because poverty also can hinder people from being able to participate in the workforce, being able to afford the education, while also upholding the principle of inclusivity in all of the aspect in the basic human rights. And the third thing will be regarding the hindering inclusivity itself, because I think poverty also can create the cycle of disadvantage, especially for the marginalized youth. And the last thing will be regarding the economic progress. So for example, Indonesia, although we have social safety net, but we still need to think regarding the efficiency and the targeting of the program itself. Because sometimes the bureaucratic hurdles and also the leakage itself, it can hinder the aid from being distributed to the one who need it most. So that is why it is important for the government to really fix the social safety net program. That's the first thing. Second thing, also regarding financial inclusion, how people, the unbankable people, can access the financial products. Third thing, regarding entrepreneurship support. And next thing as well, regarding how can we also provide smooth school to work transition to being able to create a symmetric labor market. So for example, people who graduate from university can be able to get a job that is matched with his or her background.
Yeah.
And last but not least will be regarding youth policy participation in decision-making processes.
Wow.
That's a complete answer with a lot of data. I love this.
Yes.
This is a thorough, I'm just listening it's like me. We love attending
the future
classes.
of Indonesia is safe.
Yeah, it is.
if we have
love,
a Zahria like this.
We're nerds.
Yeah.
So when we listen to numbers, it's okay.
Yeah.
So we're like,
Yeah, I don't understand. But by the way, how can you remember all the numbers that you want?
That's I was like, she
Did you
talks
practice
these
it all?
numbers
Just, you
wow.
love that number, so
Yeah,
comes
so
to
I'm currently involved in one of the Indonesia Emas 2045 report by youth. So I'm currently working on digital transformation and unemployment report. So that is why I know the numbers.
Of course she knows the numbers. And I think
but still remember the numbers.
yeah,
That's
remembering the number, it's a skill. Now, you have attended several international forums, right? You've attended the ASEAN Summit and the UN. What other international forums would you like to be attending, or will you be attending this year?
I do really want to be involved as the UN youth delegate. So perhaps maybe by the end of this year I can attend General Assembly as a youth delegate. Second thing, I'm already accepted to attend World Bank Youth Summit in Washington DC next month regarding digital transformation. And aside from international forum, I'm also currently working on the grassroots level to create impactful project for the community. For example, I'm currently involved in Kadin, Indonesia Chamber of Commerce, to build innovation hub in Indonesia to empower SMEs as well to sustain and also build their businesses. Meanwhile, also I'm currently involved in the Indonesian Youth Diplomacy, one of the largest youth community in Indonesia, by being involved as the board member for the research and advocacy. Meanwhile, also being also appointed as the expert for the digital transformation for Indonesia Emas 2045 report that will be launched later on in August.
Wow, busy.
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 August, September, General Assembly.
But you know what? Whatever international forum she'll attend, she still
Yeah.
is doing a lot of impact here. You know,
Yeah.
Raihan, and then that's something that we are very excited to hear and share the story for. So yeah.
Yeah, we love to hear that not just you go to any
Yeah.
kind of international forum, but you have your aim as well to go to the grassroots, right? So talking about the international and national forum, you have participated in both national and international forums. So what are the key differences between them, and what unique experiences do international forums offer? Then maybe you can inspire our youth audience right
Yeah.
now. Like, we are hoping it's not just you yourself, but the next of you can do the same, and we have a lot of you.
Yeah, so I think first one will be regarding the tools itself, because the tools that is provided in the local versus the international is
Yeah.
pretty different. For example, like during the UN EcoSocket Forum, I got plenty of things regarding like handbook and then playbook regarding how to implement something in the country. So that's the first thing, practical tool. Second thing, regarding the horizon itself. Of course, definitely when it comes to like attending international forum, our horizon will be more larger than before, because we got like experience, and also we got like an opinion and also like insight which coming from like expert from a different field, and also like they have experienced different situation as well. For instance, like during the EcoSocket Forum, I heard a really good insight from disabled people. But she's currently serving as the assistant of Secretary General of the United Nations. So that was like really amazing to hear like disabled people can even being like an influential and also like impactful person in the United Nations, contributing also in shaping the world's or global policy. So I think that's the difference between international forum and also local.
Oh.
Yeah,
So the
but-
inclusivity of itself, right?
Inclusivity.
Usually that is one of the SDG level, but